There are no corners to retreat to in Bellator's circular cage. Therefore, fearless gladiators of the 21st century have to use all limbs to ensure victory.
Clubbing forearm, you're right. Oh!
As any veteran of Pride, so cognizant of the
Consciousness-disabling strikes.
Oh my goodness! Who's with us on combat?
That's it!
Mixed with magnificent pirouettes from the freestyle artists of the world of combat.
7+ minutes of the fight.
Sometimes their methods are too brutal.
Oh my God!
Today we present an exhibition of works painted on the American promotion's flaming canvas.
1 minute 30 remaining in round 2.
Oh, he's out!
Those legs didn't any longer. Oh my goodness!
The Bellator cage has seen its fair share of violent, destructive knees.
No, that was a good ride. I think that he's out!
But it's the flying kind that is known to be a sure ticket to the highlight reel.
He is so much a professional.
That knowledge was put to use in 2021 by the undefeated welterweight Roman Feraldo. His adversary, Robert Turnquest, couldn't get away from the counter left.
Jab, another's a jab again. Sharp.
And Feraldo decided to cast a sleeping spell.
Feraldo, in my arms. Mamma mia! What a knee! Knockout!
Boom! Look at the switch knee with the left.
Tracking the head of his prey and nailing it with a jumping switch knee. Feraldo produced a Knockout of the Year candidate.
All over.
Just as bombastic was the All-American wrestler Taiwan Claxton's debut in 2017.
Look at Claxton, man. Very athletic, but real quick with those.
Oh! Hit is all over. Just like that.
Going airborne and crossing half the cage, Claxton sent the antagonist gazing up at the ceiling with a blank stare. That same year, Paul Daly illustrated exactly why they call him Semtex with a splendid sequence.
Spinning elbow cut. Oh! Very spread and ward. A spectacular finish.
A spinning elbow punctuated by a flying knee to the face. No need to follow up. Lorenz Larkin has seen it all during his 15-year-long career, from dizzying defeats to intoxicating triumphs on the highest level. In 2022, he crossed paths with the undefeated Mohamed Berkhamov. The former champion of the Russian promotion ACB finished 11 out of 14 opponents, submitting 9 of them. However, their clinch exchange didn't end the way the audience hoped. An elbow to the back of the head caused a no contest. By the time of the rematch in February 2023, Larkin's accuracy improved dramatically.
Forearm, you're right.
Oh! Right by Larkin, Mamma mia!
A single hellbow rendered the Russian senseless, down and out. 6 years prior, Gaston Bolaños showed the vicious beauty of Thai boxing in MMA.
Loves those spinning shots.
And there it is, Jimmy on cue!
And bang, the short shot takes him out.
When hundreds of pounds of torque collided with the target, coming back was no longer an option. In May of 2022, Leon Edwards' younger brother Fabian authored an upset of the year contender.
Rashad Evans. Oh! He's got
Caught with an elbow in the clinch, the great Lyoto Machida drove out onto the loopy street and was mercilessly executed.
7+ minutes of the fight.
In Bellator's colorful history, quite a few fighters have tasted the floor due to wicked spinning back fists. Still, the promotion's greatest hit is the first meeting between Emmanuel Newton and Muhammad Lawal in February 2013. The former Strikeforce light heavyweight champion King Mo had already debuted in Bellator with style by then. In their matchup, Lawal opened as the favorite and was leading the dance early. The hardcore kid answered with big right hands and familiarized the counterpart with Newton's law of gravity.
Well, he has landed that overhand right a couple times. Oh my God!
Suddenly rotating off an overhand, Emmanuel landed a beautiful back fist, and even caught King Mo's falling body to carefully place it on the mat. A year later, Newton would be defending the shiny strap for the first time against Joey Beltran.
Shots well. He has landed that overhand right a couple times. Oh my God! He's done! He's done! Look at it!
He added another masterpiece to his resume by setting up a blind date between the opponent and the canvas. In 2015, Alexander Shlemenko captured the unofficial spinning stuff aficionado title in a clash versus Melvin Manhoff. Once the adjustment of fire was complete,
This Manhoff trying to load up those big,
the Dutch maniac took off to the land of Oz.
similar fashions. Oh, it hurt him! That's it! Speaking of the knockout, and there it is! Shlemenko delivers, and Alexander Shlemenko.
They don't call him the Russian Storm for nothing, that's for sure.
The storm is back, Sean.
Finally, in 2021, the bantamweight monarch Sergio Pettis and Kyoji Haraguchi took the baton in the race of creativity. A hurricane-like back fist caught the Japanese standout slipping. The younger Pettis' first knockout in 8 years went straight to the KO of the Year shortlist. Since hitting the Bellator stage in 2012, former welterweight champ Andrei Koreshkov has dispatched a squad of fools bold enough to face him.
Good right hand there. Big uppercut. Here comes
Not least due to his signature spins.
Go back to that fight. I refereed that fight. Now it's huge.
And facing ex-UFC fighter Chance Rencounter in February 2022, Andre simply couldn't resist a piece of liver with a nice Chianti. Five broken ribs and a punctured lung, courtesy of a single spinning back kick. That's definitely gonna hurt for a while. 4 years prior, four-time national champion in wrestling Joey Davis found a way to take the foe by surprise.
Joey Davis needs to start moving that hip. Nice spinning back and down. That hurt. This fight's over. This fight is over.
Blasting his heel right to the breadbasket, Davis brought the house down in one move.
in the red glove.
Oh, it does start to break down that body. Oh, he's out.
In MMA, one-shot knockout ability can spare you years of grinding and climbing up the rankings.
Combat tournament. Oh, he's out.
Michael Chandler is the best proof of this thesis. Starting out predominantly as a wrestler,
Sometimes get the glove check. Wow, what a
he quickly developed into a full package with a death touch. The brightest gem in Iron Mike's Bellator career is the title rematch against Patricky Freire in 2016. The Brazilian had recently switched Ryan Couture's lights out with a single blow.
Tricky pitbull. Oh, good left. This is it. We're done.
And the scrap between two dudes with attitudes was bound to end inside the distance.
And a huge right by Michael Chandler, and it's over.
Completely overlooking Chandler's big explosion with the right and catching a critical hit, Freire fell asleep peacefully. That same year, two high-cholesterol gladiators, Javi Ayala and Sergei Kharitonov, settled their business before shortness of breath kicked in.
Veteran of pride, so cognizant of the finish. Oh! By Javi Ayala.
Last but not least, a decade ago, Muhammad Lawal produced his best one-and-done finish.
Randy Couture, who's with us on commentary. Oh, that's it. He's out. That is it.
Raining down with a big right, King Mo sent the veteran Seth Petruzzelli straight into retirement.
Couture, who's with us on commentary. He's out.
In 2021, the Festival of Flying Fists and Rolling Heads was picked up by the late great Rumble Johnson. Sadly, this was the last bout for Anthony. Rest in peace, warrior. When featherweight prodigy Aaron Pico arrived on the MMA scene in 2017, Few expected that his road to the top would be bumpy. Yet, in his pro debut, the 20-year-old medal collector tasted the bitterness of defeat in 24 seconds. Albeit, in 3 months, Aaron put on a 4-minute beatdown versus Justin Lin.
Back, very old school in many ways, as Pico lighting him up.
And overwrote the hiccup with a wonderful wallop.
Pico beginning to Mamma mia! What a left hook! Pico!
After the left hook counter, the opponent hit the deck in bullet time. He was just the first in Pico's knockout streak.
Just extensively about how he is. Oh, beautiful!
Nevertheless, soon Aaron's ascension would be delayed by 2 losses.
Pico hits hard. Oh, my goodness!
Forced to rebuild from scratch with a record of 4-3, Pico kicked off the 2020 campaign against Daniel Carey. Successfully implementing his wrestling in the early going, Aaron reminded why he had been given so much praise in advance.
And Pico looking very good. Oh, it's over. It is all over. Just like that. The power of Aaron Pico. Boom.
A picture-perfect left hook got him back on the winning track. Another victim was run over by his hype train that year.
Oh!
When the undeniable MMA Hall of Famer Fedor Emelianenko decided to end his career in Bellator, fireworks were guaranteed irrespective of results. The Russian KO show got off to a rocky start in 2017. So did the standoff against former UFC champion Frank Mir a year later. However, going punch for punch with the last emperor has always been a game of Russian roulette.
Good
Straight left hand, and Emelianenko close around about on Mir. Fedor Emelianenko has turned back time.
After getting clocked with a short left uppercut, there was nothing Mir could do but lay down and enjoy the experience. Battling Chael Sonnen, Emelianenko planted a left hand.
Go! Tonight's fight, big shot. He's hurt Miller left.
Demonstrated to the American public the beauty of Sambo,
Takedown attempt hasn't worked yet.
and fed the Westland gangster a shut-up pie inside 5 minutes.
It's all over!
Crushing the expectant version of Rampage Jackson took even less than that.
Using Rampage about where he's going to attack. Big shot.
Be that as it may, the Russian Brute's best work took place in 2021 against Timothy Johnson, who'd recently been on a decent knockout streak.
Another right hand, but Johnson just clocked Fortune!
The big boys started swinging right away.
Where has good combination. Tim Johnson just walking right into it. Swinging.
Fedor dinged the opponent with the left and starched poor Tim.
Left jab like that. Two monster shots by Fedor.
A deadly combo secured the last victory for the ex-baddest man on the planet. Unfortunately for Fedor, his farewell party was hosted by Ryan Bader. These two had met previously.
His fate. And watch for that right. Oh, it's going to be over.
In their February 2023 title rematch, Bader outsniped the 46-year-old legend. Caught him with a right hand on the break.
Part of what he does, he goes after you with
the right hand.
And sealed the deal on the mat.
That's from the heavyweight champion.
That's it.
Fedor didn't go out on his terms, but had a retirement celebration like no other. I'm done. Thank you, everyone. In just 2 months since his Bellator tenure began in 2009, Olympic judoka Hector Lombard acquired the belt and became notorious for issuing the heaviest concussions at middleweight. The Lightning's return to the round cage against Jay Silva in 2010 was nothing short of spectacular.
You see already when they're close to each other, Jay Silva, good left hand, the end is there, inside is there! Jason Herzog, our referee, but bang!
Blasting Silva's face with a couple of hooks like it was target practice, Lombard entered the record books with a 6-second KO.
So powerful, Hector Lombard.
3 months later, Bellator brought in Herbert Goodman as a sacrificial lamb, who found himself under pressure from the jump.
Alonso, the referee.
Goodman cannot wait. He needs to pump that.
Procrastinating by the fence was his first and last mistake.
Swing and a miss by Lombard.
That's a good right hand.
Big punches.
That's it.
Goodman down and is in all sorts of trouble, and there's the stoppage. Another rapid fire.
Lombard hurt the lingering enemy and chased him down with a shifting right hook. The fight lasted 38 seconds, more than it takes for the crowd to start booing at Brendan Schaub's open mic. The star of semi-contact kickboxing in the 2000s, Michael Page is famous for his antics in the Bellator cage, where he made a name for himself by starching and mocking the opposition.
Sean Burrell had some.
The Londoner put his knack for entertainment on display when he debuted in 2013.
It's not just a good time, it's Miller time.
Oh, good right hand. He's in big trouble. That is it.
The adversary couldn't bear the 10-second long humiliation and took the fetal position on the ground.
The first time.
Fast forward a year and Page is paid, laid, and made. Ricky Rainey was demolished to the crowd's amusement in support of that claim.
Closing distance, Page turning away. Big right hand! That's it. Kevin McDonald steps in!
In 2015, the fans witnessed another one-man show by Venom. Rudy Bears couldn't even last 2 minutes.
Oh, huge left, and it's over, just like that.
The right hand shot right to the chin knocks Rudy.
But the king of Page's highlights is the wrecking of Cyborg Santos in July 2016. The Brazilian couldn't get going in the stand-up.
I believe that belongs to Page. Effective grappling belonged to Santos, but
Closer, leaning in.
Being forced to endure a striking clinic through 2 rounds. Debilitating body kicks marked the beginning of the
a
end.
long time in a 100-yard dash. It's forever beautiful.
And the cocky Brit's blurring speed decided the outcome.
Lose off the liver shot. It can come back.
Cyborg runs into the jump.
A knee straight from a horror movie shattered Cyborg's frontal bone, leaving him with a real piece of metal in his skull afterwards. Luckily, the veteran is alive and well now. 2019 was especially prolific in artsy finishes for Venom, as he got rid of 3 rivals in walk-off fashion.
I have an opinion about that. Oh, big knee from Angle.
And he's starting to look like a kid in the school.
Joe, is it?
In June 2015, the Japanese-French fighter Hisaki Kato won the lottery. The knockout artist laid out 4 out of 5 opponents, and signed a contract with Bellator for a high-profile shootout with Joe Schilling. The American's questionable wrestling skill was made up for by his elite kickboxing, enough to outright ice Melvin Manhoff.
Another left hand. Oh my God! That is it!
In a duel of 2 strikers, many considered Kato to be a stepping stone. Instead, the Japanese musketeer refused to play by the enemy's rules for long.
Kato trying to work to the inside.
Kato transferred the action to the mat to soften the opponent up.
Schilling gives his back. Looking for a backdoor escape. Back to his feet.
And did him like an average Joe when they get back on their feet.
Fighter.
Oh! And that is it! With the small gloves! And the step in.
A majestic Superman punch sent Schilling to outer space and secured the Upset of the Year award for the author. However, that wasn't the last time they would clash. A year later, a big rematch was held under the Bellator kickboxing banner, and Hisaki had an ace up his sleeve again.
Final seconds of round 2 as Schilling continues to land and then goes down.
A devastating spinning back fist left Joe helplessly looking at the lights. And yet, when Melvin Manhoff entered the Kato equation, MMA's unpredictability was revealed in all its beauty.
Nice right hand. Good left. Good covering up. One uppercut got through. Manhoff knows he has to get out. Meant it. As play.
In recent years, multiple-time karate and kickboxing world champion Raymond Daniels hasn't put on the big gloves, the ones he used to shine in for 2 decades.
King Francois Ambeng. Oh, what a shot!
Training kickboxing since age 16.
Upon capturing the Bellator kickboxing belt, the striking maestro went on an MMA conquest in May 2019. The debuting Wilker Barros welcomed the stunning KO virtuoso. After a mocking session at the outset, Raymond swept the opponent off his feet and proceeded to add another masterpiece to the collection. Taking off with a 720-degree turn, Daniels screwed a tornado punch into Barros' head, scoring a one-of-a-kind chin-spinning knockout. The rich resume of former Bellator welterweight chief Douglas Lima cemented his status as one of the nastiest finishers in the sport. Starting out in the organization in 2011, the Brazilian waited 8 years for his career-defining moment. In May of 2019, he faced the 14-0 hype machine Michael Page, who was burning his way to the fire throne. The distance control master proved he could hang with the best of them.
Advance to the final of the $1 million. Showing already, John, in the way he reacts, although he got...
Nevertheless, Venom chose the wrong spider to go against.
Quite at 100%.
Oh, and there... What a shot by Lima! Mamma mia! Douglas Lima!
Grazing Douglas with a punch, Page got overzealous. That was all Lima needed. He chopped Michael down with a low kick and wiped the British smirk off his face with a laser-sharp uppercut.
That right hand, boom! Touches that chin.
Immaculate timing, pristine technique, and cold-blooded execution by the Brazilian. The perfect entry to top our list.
Quite at 100%.
Oh, and there...
There's plenty of life outside of UFC, and Bellator chronicles abound in phenomenal knockouts and merciless submissions.
Oh my goodness.
If you want to see more, try not to break your screen while punching that like button, subscribe to the channel, and vote for sport.